Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today is Piatt County Sheriff Mark Vogelzang. Sheriff, how are you, sir? How's your summer going so far?
Good morning, Seth. Going well. Had a little bit of a trip last week, and
Of course you did.
enjoying the nice warm weather. It looks like the next week's going to be really nice. So
Yeah,
looking
sure.
forward to it.
Now you're going to have to get away again here real soon, I'm sure. I know. I hear from our friend Sheriff Walker over here. You like to get away a lot.
It's life's short. Definitely work hard, play hard. You've got to take that time, have a good work-life balance.
Sure.
And enjoy life.
No doubt. Very good. Hey, Sheriff, I know coming up later in July, I know it's a ways off, but I know you want to put this on folks' radar. So some fundraising efforts can build some momentum. The annual St Jude Run comes through Piatt County, and you were telling me your department has a longstanding tradition working with those folks. Tell me about this and what's going on here.
Yeah, this is something that was started by the prior sheriff. Each locality or different cities around the state have a group that runs to Peoria. Most of the time, those groups are escorted by their local law enforcement agencies to make sure that they can get there safely. We put a squad behind the group just because obviously they're running it. It'll be a slower moving group. But we'll kick off and leave July 31st that evening and run straight through the night and hit Peoria usually about midday on August 1st. So it's about 85 miles that the runners run. Last year we had roughly 35 runners that we escorted from Monticello or Piatt County. So it's a big event. It's kind of fun when you roll into Peoria and get to see the huge number of runners coming in from across the state. I think right now, when I checked yesterday, if you go to their website, they've already raised just under $15,000 towards their goal this year, which was $107,410. So if you get a chance, it's a great organization, again, running trying to raise money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Sure. You mentioned your guys are help out in that escort effort. What's their route through Piatt County? How much of a commitment is that for you and your department? I mean, I'm sure it's a commitment worth it. How about those things?
The route, I don't think will change much from last year. We leave the square in Monticello, head out of town across Bridge Street, out towards D-Land. We are actually going to have a meeting here in the next couple of weeks just to confirm the route this year. But usually the commitment, there's one deputy that takes them halfway, and then the second deputy usually picks them up just on the outskirts of Bloomington and takes them the rest of the way. It's a long process. It's not something that we want one deputy to do the whole detail, because that's a lot of time. So we switch off about halfway.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Very good. So now, is that because I feel like there's the national St. Jude Run, right? Like there's that run which originates in Memphis or something, and I think they run across the Midwest, if I'm not mistaken. Is this more of a local thing then?
Yeah, this would be more state-based, and like I said, there's runners from across the state that all end up in Peoria.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
they usually end up kind of forming up there at the Embassy Suites, and then run across that bridge into the final final area of the finish line.
I see. I'm with you now. Very good. Very good. Do you encourage like your guys to raise money for this, or do you do anything internally? Whether it's I know your guys have uniforms, so jeans day or polo day or whatever is probably out of the question. But do you guys do anything to raise money internally for this effort?
No, we haven't done anything internally. If the deputies or any staff want to donate, there is that website that they can donate to
Sure.
online.
Gotcha. Very good. Well, that's coming up end of July. So hopefully, like you said, putting that word out now will build a bit of momentum going into that at the end of the summer, kind of into the summer months there. So very good, Sheriff. Anything else on that we didn't touch on you want to put out there for us?
I said you can find, like I said, look up the Monticello Run to Peoria specifically to donate to their group. But I'm sure that if you're a runner and you want to assist in that route as well, there is a way that you can register on that same website.
Piatt County Sheriff Mark Vogelzang is my guest on the Zoom here this morning. Sheriff, I know that recently the Sheriff's Association completed its 2026 round of scholarships and such. Let's dive into that. What's new there?
Oh, absolutely. The Sheriff's Association, it started back in 1928, but then in 1979, they started giving out scholarships for high school students to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
And the number of scholarships that each county gets is in relation to the number of ISA memberships that county holds.
Okay.
So given our current number of ISA memberships in Piatt County, we are allowed to give one $500 scholarship, which was given to Molly Kinder here in Monticello. She's going off to Parkland to be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So each county gets those, and I think there was 121 scholarships for roughly about $62,000 given this year. So 102 counties in the state and 121 scholarships were given out.
Got it. Sure. Very good.
So,
yeah, that's great. And do you do much to get the word out on those? Because I know, kids are fishing for scholarships, really, really heavy starting kind of that first of the year. Do you do much to promote your scholarship or anything?
Yep, we work very closely with schools, so they have a list of local scholarships. We do post it on our Facebook page,
mm-hmm.
and the Illinois Sheriff's Association is also posting it statewide.
Sure.
But even I think there's two that aren't really, they're not getting a lot of attention. But if you go to their website, they've got one, it's called the Goodman Teen Institute on Leadership Development, Substance Use and Prevention and Mental Well-being. It's a 5-day youth leadership conference that's sponsored by the Illinois Alcoholism and Drug Dependence Association. That one is open. So if you have somebody that is a youth leader, maybe looking for a career in that, they can check it out there. But there's also a Peacekeepers Scholarship program that's eligible for the dependents of law enforcement officers that were killed in the line of duty or retired as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 2 additional scholarships.
Okay, sure. So be maybe have those on the lookout for folks at home listening with maybe a sophomore or junior getting ready to think about that in the next year or two. Very good. Very good. Well, Sheriff, do those dollars come from fundraising efforts by like the Sheriff's Association at the state level or anything?
That's all developed through or comes through the membership.
Yeah.
As citizens decide to join the Illinois Sheriff's Association, I think it's $25 for an individual, $35 for a family. But with that, there's also a business membership.
Mm-hmm.
But there's their Facebook page. They routinely take a look at different legislative updates,
mm-hmm.
and will either provide their support or the reasons why they are against those legislative updates. So just one more way that citizens can try and keep up on things that are happening in the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's always changing. There's always movement going on. Trying to figure out what is legitimate news, what is true or not true about different bills that are coming up.
Uh-huh.
I think the ISA takes a close look at those and gives some very, very good feedback on those bills.
Tell you what, Sheriff, I know that they are in the midst of wrapping up the latest session there in Springfield. It's all kind of a culmination towards that budget passing, I know, this time of the year. But let's break, and maybe on the other side of the break, we can talk about if you're hearing anything coming out of Springfield for the time being. Where do folks go for all things Piatt County Sheriff's Office to learn more, or what your guys are up to? How do they do that?
Website or Facebook page.
Very good. Piatt County Sheriff Mark Vogelzang is my guest on the Zoom. More to come with the Sheriff on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Here's Hart Media Group owner Matt Hart talking about the Hart Media Group's continued commitment to local news, sports, and agriculture.
And at the end of the day, we're going to cover your local news. We're going to be dedicated to agriculture. Ag is such a huge part of our industry. We're obviously, if you're tuning in the radio, you know that. You're going to see that in our news, but then you're also going to see that local sports coverage as well as the local news coverage as well.
Find WHOW 1520 on Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok.
Hey, it's Shane from Highway 51 Exchange, your mower and equipment service pros just south of Clinton. Click our banner ad on DeWittDailyNews.com or give us a call to schedule your free pickup and delivery today. Highway 51 Exchange.
Spring brings brighter days and more time to enjoy them. Your home should too. At Hickory Point Garden Homes in Forsyth, enjoy one-story living and walking paths right outside your door. Spend less time on upkeep and more time enjoying spring. To learn more, click our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Spring into savings this May with a new Chevrolet. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. Savings with a new car? Yes, with our fuel savings model like the Chevy Trax with 40 miles per gallon highway, the Chevrolet Trailblazer, and Chevrolet Equinox with 33 miles per gallon highway. And don't forget about our EV options, the Chevrolet Bolt and Equinox. Chevrolet, together let's drive. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Piatt County Sheriff Mark Vogelzang on the Zoom with me here for this morning. Sheriff, we left off that first segment. You talked about the Illinois Sheriff's Association and a lot of the advocating they do for law enforcement at the Capitol in Springfield. And like I mentioned, going out in that first segment, a lot of things happening in the Capitol right now as they wrap up this legislative cycle. It's all kind of a culmination towards the budget. That's what a lot of people are watching. But bills and things come up along the way. Anything law enforcement related out of Springfield you're hearing about right now?
I think one of the biggest ones that I'm kind of watching is funding of ILEAS, which is the Illinois Law Enforcement Alarm System. They're based out of Urbana. They've had their funding cut federally substantially. This is an organization that does a lot of training for WMD response. They do a lot with mobile field force, which comes into play with, like the DNC and the RNC. They were sent up there to assist. They do a lot with bomb squads, which stay very, very active, and that funding is hard to find. But they also, being a smaller county, if we do have that emergency, they are that one call that we can make and quickly get resources from across the state, whether it be simply manpower, radios, specialized equipment, things like that. Mm-hmm. So really trying to make sure that they get the funding to stay up and running past July 1. And I know we're kind of working with MABUS, which is the equivalent for the fire side. to make sure that those two organizations continue to get that very important funding.
What if they didn't get that funding, Sheriff?
Well, I think they've got a little bit of time to continue, but obviously services are going to have to start dwindling. Cool thing about ILEAS is it's pretty much one of a kind in the entire country. When we went down to assist during Hurricane Katrina, New Orleans, Louisiana was able to make that one call, and they coordinated all of Illinois efforts to get down there and assist, where no other state had that one person that they could call. So they're sending agencies from, California and New York and stuff, but there's not a one organization that was overseeing it. So it was a very well orchestrated response. So it would be very important. We've had calls from other states. How did you guys make this happen? So we'd really hate to see that go away.
Sure. Safety legislation continues to be really a hot topic, particularly as the ramifications of that start to become further and further felt across the state. It's become, I feel like a pretty large issue in all corners of Illinois. There had been some rumblings of potentially not repealing it, but modifying it, pulling back some of the things in it. I don't know if you've heard much about that. Is that at all on the table in this cycle, the cycle that has a whopping 4 days left?
I think it's always being looked at. Again, the Sheriff's Association's been very vocal about trying to tweak it to make it better. I know it's been a topic in the governor's race. I know candidate Bailey has talked about that in particular. So hopefully things continue to be worked on and make things better.
Sure. Very good. Very good. Well, on that note, Sheriff, let's dive into wrap up our time together talking about scams. This is a never-ending topic, and it overlaps with law enforcement. What do you know about scams in Piatt County? What are your guys seeing? I know you work closely with Stu Williams, our buddy here. How about just scams in general? What are you seeing over there?
Boy, they never stop. Just in the last week, I've gotten 3 on my phone, but they all look very legit. This is from the state of Illinois, Municipal Court of St. Louis County. Well, there is no St. Louis County in the state of Illinois. I've got a couple others from Cook County. So as you read through them, there's a lot of misspellings. This one in particular says the state of Illizory, that combined Illinois and Missouri. So, just paying attention to the documents that you get, if you're starting to see things in there that spellings just don't add up, do your own research, follow up with the company. Don't take the number off of the mailer or the text you get. Don't scan those QR codes. Don't download anything. If it looks like it's coming from a bank, Google that bank, call their legitimate number and confirm. Over the last, couple months, we've had a couple cases where literally hundreds of thousands of dollars were pulled out and were in the process of being sent to fraudulent accounts. So it's not just $100, $200 here or there. It's literally hundreds of thousands of dollars that people get tricked into sending.
Have you gotten the Bitcoin scams yet?
I've seen the Bitcoins. It's one of those, like I said, be very cautious. And the other thing I would say is if you have any loved ones, older parents or anything like that might be susceptible, please have those conversations with them. If you can work with them to help oversee accounts, have a second set of eyes on those. It is extremely important because unfortunately, these people are, they're just blasting it out, but it seems like the older gentleman or older population tends to fall for some of these. So keep an eye on them if you've got loved ones that might be susceptible to it.
Sure. Yeah. And I wonder how recoverable are these things, or how much are you able to get back for folks or help them in, whether it's prosecuting the perpetrators of these scams. How about those efforts, Sheriff, locally?
Most of the time, the money's lost. They're going overseas. If we're notified pretty quickly, we did have a deputy that jumped on a case very, very fast and was able to make the right connections with the postal inspectors. And we were able to get one particular check stopped and returned to the gentleman. But I would say that's rare. Just was quick work on the deputy's part to make those calls and get it stopped mid-transit.
Very good. Well, yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, they're everywhere now too. It's not just Sheriff. It's not just the calls. It's the email, like you mentioned. It's the text message. It's everywhere. They're everywhere. You've really got to have your guard up. Your glove.
They are, and they're relentless.
And they're relentless.
It's nonstop. You can block a number, and 10 minutes later, it's coming through on a different number.
Sure thing. Well, Sheriff, on that note, I got to let you go for the day, my friend. I don't know if I'm going to get to catch up with you much this summer. If I can't, best to you and your family. Enjoy the summertime, and hopefully we can catch up soon, though. I appreciate your time as always, sir.
Sounds good. Thanks, Seth.
Pioneer County Sheriff Mark Vogelzang is my guest on the Zoom here this morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network news comes your way now on the WHOW Morning Show.